Hi guys, this is me again, part 2 exchange, modes of acquisition. If you did not catch the discussion on part 1, I will be linking it down in the description, so kindly check it out. And for this part, we will be talking about with commercial substance illustrations. So, diretso na tayo. Okay, so we're on to illustrations. But before we start with illustrations, kasi ang exchange po ay medyo mahaba-haba, kailangan ko ng kasama dito. So, i-welcome po natin ang mga guest natin for this, our session. Say hi. Kaway-kaway kung kilala mo yung napaka-poging instructor na yan. And here's another one. Equally pogi. And of course, equal yan silang dalawa. Ito pa yung isang equal nila. Ikaw pa rin pala ang hanap-hanap para. Okay. So to proceed, let's dissect the problem right now. The requirement for the problem, the journal entries to record the exchange on the books of high-speed company. So tayo po si high-speed company to record the exchange, okay? Una, high-speed exchange its second-hand delivery truck with second-hand machine of low speed. So pareho silang may used asset na in-exchange with each other. And the data is divided as follows. Given po ang fair value ng asset natin, given din ang fair value ng asset na matatanggap. And of course, you also have the carrying amount there. Now, why did I emphasize the 3? Kasi po, in our hierarchy, this would be the first priority in valuing the asset received. This one is your second priority, and if the two are not available, dun ka lang pupunta sa carrying amount. So, on to more about the illustration. So you have original cost and accumulated depreciation for the two. This would be used in the entry kasi you will have to write off the asset. So our credit for delivery truck would be equal to 1,2 and i-debit natin yung accumulated depreciation. Also, don't forget na meron tayong additional costs incurred. This is separate from the exchange already, ha? Do not factor this into the exchange kasi iba na to. Here, on this part, ito yung information about your purchase price. On the lower part, yan yung information about directly attributable costs. Directly attributable cost, 20,000 transportation and handling. 60,000 naman, that is for site preparation, installation, and testing of the machine. Our answer to the problem, of course, we will be using the fair value of the old asset transferred because it's given. Okay, yan yung priority number 1. Unang-una, debit tayo 990 as the fair value of the old asset transferred. Next, we will also have to credit the original cost of the delivery truck, debiting its accumulated depreciation. The gain on exchange of 330 is not your balancing figure, ha? It is computed as follows. Yan. Also, you will have to recognize na meron tayong directly attributable costs. Added po ang dalawa. Netting us a total of 1,070,000 the cost of our new machine. Scenario number 2. What if this one is not given? Walang fair value yung asset given natin. So, in the absence of the fair value of the asset given, the asset received shall be valued at fair value of the asset received. Okay, ito po ang gagamitin natin. Scenario number 2, assuming the asset given has no fair value, ang gagamitin is fair value of the asset received. Our solution would go like this. Debit machine at 800,000. That should be equal to the fair value of the asset received. The same details would be observed. Credit the delivery truck original cost and debit its accumulated depreciation. The gain on exchange is computed as follows. And do not forget that we also have directly attributable cost. That would total us to the asset cost of 880,000. This is assuming that there is no fair value for the asset given. Scenario number 3. What if the fair value for the asset received and the asset given are both unavailable? We are left with the book value of the asset given. If the carrying amount of the asset given would be used, the problem becomes much simpler. Kasi po ang ide-debit natin to the new machine is equal to the carrying amount of our old delivery truck. That is the net of cost and accumulated depreciation. So, i-add mo dyan yung directly attributable costs. That would give us a total cost of the machine of 680,000. Take note na walang gain or loss if the carrying value of the old asset transferred is used. So the scenario is the same as to parang walang commercial substance ang transaction, if that is the case. Hi Sir Kit, okay pa ba tayo dyan? Sure? Okay ka pa? Ikaw si Jason, parang cool ah. Hi Sir James, kamusta? Ayos ka? Okay. So guys, let's proceed to our next illustration. This time with commercial substance and we are involving cash. Okay, rules. If you are the one paying, the amount paid is added to your cost of the asset. But if you are the ones receiving the cash, the amount you receive will be deducted from the cost of the asset. So ito na po yung problem natin. First of all, let's go to your requirements. Una, assume the persona of high-speed company, ano daw yung journal entries. And then second, low-speed company naman. So just to get into the details, ang pinagkaiba lang nito from the previous illustration is the addition of this one. That is the cash payment. So ito po, cash paid by high speed to low speed. So ikaw high speed, ikaw yung nagbayad. Itong 110 na yan, that should be added to the cost of your new asset. Low speed naman, because you received it, it should be a deduction in your cost of the new asset. Okay? So here is your answer for the first requirement. On the books of high-speed company, the party who paid cash. This 800,000 debit to machine is actually computed as follows. So as mentioned earlier, kung ikaw nagbayad, added ang cash payment to the fair value of the asset given. Take note, this is asset given. Okay? Of course, we have the cost of the asset credited and its accumulated depreciation just to cancel or derecognize the asset. You paid cash, of course, that should be credited for 110. And lastly, the gain on exchange, that should be equal to 690,000, which is your fair value of the old asset versus the carrying amount of your old asset. Requirement number 2. To the party who received the cash payment. The debit to delivery truck, low speed, will have to debit it for 690,000. That should be computed as follows. So the 690,000 follows the fair value of the asset ni low speed, 800,000. Tapos, ibabawas mo dyan ang 110,000 na payment coming from high speed. So the other components of the entry, yun nga, nakatanggap ka ng cash. Tapos ang original cost ng machine ni low speed, dide-recognize natin together with its accumulated depreciation. And of course, the gain on exchange is simply computed as follows. So that should be the end for our part 5.2, modes of acquisition, exchange with commercial substance. In 5.3, we will be discussing about without commercial substance. Video links down in the description. Click now and let's go.